Hi folks, Sean here again. I got some fan mail. Let's get started on that. GG of Caldwell, Texas writes, "Why does what Bundy get under your skin so much? A poor old man. You know people like you are so low-life libtards that don't have nothing else better to do than worry about other people. Dang, get a job and do something productive with your life besides harassing old people." Now, I do enjoy harassing old people. I mean, who doesn't? It's so easy. But in order to answer your question, Gigi, let's take a trip in the Wayback Time machine, shall we? See, the way the world worked from the beginning of time is that there was one big caveman with a club, and he just bashed every other caveman in the head and took whatever he wanted. Eventually, when all the rest of them got sick with it, another big caveman came along and bashed him in the head and took whatever he wanted. And then somebody would come along and bash him in the head and take whatever he wanted. That is how human history has worked throughout millennia, and indeed still in many places, all the way up to the time of kings. Then there was the Enlightenment. Along came after that democracy. Finally, we were free. Now we had the vote. Now the cavemen came in and they lined up in front of us and they said how nice they were going to be to us and what laws they would repeal and what laws they would pass, and really had to appeal to us, and we were finally free. You could even run for office yourself. It was the ultimate freedom. Now enter Cliven Bundy. Mr. Bundy doesn't like the law, so he spends 20 years speaking out against it, which is fine, but apparently people don't agree with him because they never elected anybody to office to change the law. So Mr. Bundy essentially says, well, screw you, I'm going to get a big club, and if you try to enforce the laws, I'll bash you in the head with it. Now, where does that lead us? It leads us to government not by vote, not by democracy, but by armed militia. People sometimes celebrate this, by the way, when it happens. We've seen this in the Middle East. We've seen this in Ukraine right now, where somebody comes in and a bunch of people with guns. Oh, it's the people with guns. They're going to save us. Yay! And then 6 months later, they're going, well, there's no law anymore. There's just a bunch of people with guns. And maybe this sucks. Yeah, it sucks. America fought a revolution to achieve the right of representative government, democracy, the right to vote. We fought multiple wars since then to defend that, to defend those rights. It's not for Cliven Bundy or to come along with some small militia and just say, well, I've decided that America doesn't exist anymore. Cliven Bundy and the militias have just as much right to run for office as anybody else. Go for it. But they don't have a right to unilaterally decide what the laws are going to be. When you start doing that, that is the end of democracy. And when the democracy ends, bye-bye freedom. I hope that answered your question, Gigi. Thanks.